All right, I'm pretty excited about this. Just bought this thing used. It's in Ensoniq ESQ-1. I heard a couple of videos of this thing and just really kind of fell in love with the sound and thought it was something that I needed. So I bought this used, but it's got a couple of issues. So I'm going to do a little walkthrough. I'm going to do a proper review of this synthesizer later. Really go through the features and do a demo. This video is going to be really looking at how I'm going to go over the unit and repair a couple of issues that are wrong with it, just in case somebody else has similar issues. Hopefully this will help you get them fixed. Man, I love this retro vacuum fluorescent display. It's my friend called it a speak and spell screen. Bring you back to the 80s. There was a couple of issues I noticed. First of all, the mod wheel here, loose. It looked like it was broken. That actually turned out to be an easy fix. I'll show you later. Mostly it's in pretty good shape. This is the original metal version. The first version of this synth that came out had a metal case. After that it was plastic. Another one of the things that attracted me about the synth is it's actually got a really easy to use user interface. It's laid out like your classic subtractive Moog style synthesizer, so really easy to wrap your head around. All you really have to do to adjust parameters is hold down the parameter and slide this data entry slider here. So for example, if I want to, I'll pick a patch, and then let's say I want to adjust the filter cutoff. I just go to filter. So you just hold down the button next to the parameter and you slide the data entry slider to change it. Of course, this slider is one of the things that's kind of broken on the synthesizer. You can see it kind of changes a little bit, but for the most part it just doesn't work. And so we'll be fixing that. Just a quick run through of some of the tools I'm going to be using in case you need to do something similar. I have a multimeter. This allows you to test impedance, so you can test a resistor or a variable resistor, a potentiometer, for if it's working correctly. This is actually what I used to confirm that the potentiometer was the problem. To remove the bad part, I'm going to be doing some desoldering, so I need a soldering iron, but I also am going to use this desoldering bulb. Basically, you squeeze it, you heat up the solder, and you hold it up, and then you release it, and it sucks in the solder. Of course, going to need a soldering iron and some solder. All right, let's open this thing up. One of the cool things about these older synthesizers is how easy they are to open up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lift up this front panel. We just have 4 screws, 2 here and 2 here. So yeah, this thing opens up really nice cable management. Some beautiful retro 80s circuitry, which was actually super cutting edge at the time. The custom VLSI sound chips that they designed. I got lucky. This used model I bought came with the sequencer expander, so I get to store many more steps on the sequencer. So this is the front panel display and controls here. And these 2 parts here are the 2 potentiometers. So the first thing usually we would try is to spray some contact cleaner into this crack here. You spray it into here and move this around and spray some more, and don't be shy, use a lot of the liquid because it basically evaporates. That fixes a lot of problems. The next question I had is, okay, it's not just dirty. Maybe the part is actually bad. So maybe this potentiometer is actually worn out. I'll share a link to a website that gives you good step-by-step how to test one of these sliders or pots. This is a 10K potentiometer, so on your multimeter, since I'm testing a 10K, I want to pick the first setting that's higher than 10K, which would be 20K. And then I would measure these 2 contacts on here. And what I found was that while the values on this potentiometer moved smoothly, this one was pretty much shorted out. Again, I'll share the link that tells you step-by-step how to test the potentiometer, but it's pretty easy. I've identified that this part is basically worn out. Now I need to replace it. The first thing I'll do is, get these clips out of the way. just by pulling gently up on here and wiggling it loose. There's actually a screw from the other side. So what I'm actually going to have to do is remove this whole assembly here so I can get underneath here to loosen the screw. Then I will desolder the connecting leads. Actually, I'll desolder the connecting leads on the part itself. I'll unscrew it, remove it, put the new one in, and reattach the wires in the same place. Whenever there's a lot of things you're taking apart and you want to make sure you know how to put it back together, use your cell phone and take a picture before you take it apart. When in doubt, take it out. I'm just realizing if there are more screws underneath this little daughter board here, I might actually have to remove it. We will see. No. That is beautiful. I don't know why that makes me so excited, but it does. Pull off. I want to be gentle, although I don't want to crack these plastic parts is my biggest concern. So just be really gentle. Another common problem that these older synthesizers have is there's a lithium battery here that, you know, it lasts a long time, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. But this thing is over 30 years old, so a lot of times these batteries are dead. It looks like I got lucky again. Somebody's already replaced that. It looks pretty new. It doesn't give me the low battery warning. All right. So here is the whole reason I took this whole board off. These two little screws here. This is free. This is kind of to heat this up, pull these wires off. Let me go grab the replacement part. So this came in the mail today, just in time for the weekend. Pretty interesting story behind the company that sells these parts, called Synthar. They have this cool YouTube video that's kind of like a reality TV. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It's really well done. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, I already have my soldering iron preheated, so this should be pretty easy. So the ground's on the bottom and it goes to the left. Okay. Actually able to heat it up and just slide the bent wire right over the post. Let it cool for a sec. It needs a little more solder. To get solder to flow well, you want to heat up whatever you want the solder to be on before you try to add solder, because solder is basically, it kind of sticks to the things that are hot enough for the solder to flow. turn off the soldering iron before I burn myself. Drink some gin and screw it in. Oh yeah. Looks good. Speak and spell screen. It's the screen of the future. Click. Looks legit. It's the moment of truth. Got my patch. I'm gonna select filter, select any parameter, and oh my gosh, it works. Wow. That's actually usable. That's awesome. Can't wait to actually use this bad boy. So I'm excited. I'll be making another video with a little review and maybe a couple of tracks so you can hear it. That's awesome. Cheers. The other thing I need to do is fix this last key. It's kind of slow to respond, and when you press on it, it doesn't make a noise unless you really hammer on it. This thing was loose, as I said. I already fixed it. Actually, you just take off this front panel. So you have these two screws here, and then you have a screw on the back. And the other screw is right here underneath this key, which is like, okay, how am I going to get to that screw? I need to take this key bed off anyways. I'll flip this over and take those screws off. Bed out. Okay, to finish reattaching the key bed, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws. Okay, now we have just the remaining front panel screws. A little cleanup, we'll be ready to rock.